my bag, we drove there early, and I got there. He pulled up outside and dropped me in, and saying goodbye when you know you're going to be delivering your son, even now, like, it makes me emotional. I didn't even know, oh God. It makes me emotional thinking about how many women are still doing this now. It's just, obviously, I know because of Corona, and I take my hat off to the NHS. I think they're amazing and everything they're doing. The doctors, the midwives, the nurses, they are insane. But it was so difficult, him just dropping me outside the hospital and knowing they were going to be bringing our son home, but he can't be there for the first part of the labour. So yeah, went in, temperature taken, all of that, mask on, hand sanitizer, straight in. Took me to a ward, so it was like a induction ward. It wasn't a delivery ward, it was just an induction ward. There were women, obviously 2 meters separated, but like the beds were all sectioned off as well, so no one was like kind of near each other. Obviously all being induced all different ways, different methods. Midwives coming back in and forth, like back and forth, trying to check on you. Yeah, so I came in at 5 p.m, so obviously it was late by this time, and it was quite quiet. There's about 2 or 3 other women in my ward, and I had the hormone gel and I had a sweep, so a stretch and sweep. They checked me and I was already 3 centimeters dilated, going into 4 centimeters. So I thought at that time that I must be ready for labour, because everyone has said all the way along, even through COVID and before, once you get to 4 centimeters dilated, your partner can come in, and or your birthing partner, whatever, can come in and we'll take you straight to a delivery ward and off you go. No, that wasn't the case. So I'd got to 4 centimeters dilated from 2 stretch and sweeps and a hormone gel, and I thought by that time, wonderful, my partner can come in. I was bouncing on the ball. I was getting to 4 centimeters all the way along. It was in my mind, I need to get 4 centimeters and then I know it's go time. No, wasn't go time. They told me that there wasn't any delivery suites ready, so I just had to kind of firm it. Like, I had to just deal with it on my own. Obviously he was sat waiting outside in the car. It was freezing. Obviously it's November. It was bonfire night. So that kind of happened. I told him to go home because there was no point just sat outside. I wasn't going anywhere. I just had to deal with it, and the pain at the time was kind of moderate. Like, it was like a 6 out of 10. It wasn't bad at all. I was just bouncing on the ball. I tried to sleep. They kept giving me paracetamol and ibuprofen because that's all you can take when you're pregnant anyway. Yeah, so he went home. 6th of November then, in the morning, I said to them, you know, I'm quite far along now. Will there be a delivery room available today? They were like, don't know. Like, nobody was telling me anything, like, honestly.
Nobody tells me nothing.
It was really difficult, to the point where I rung the red button and the midwife came in and I just bawled my eyes out. I just said, look, I'm 4 centimeters dilated. I'm probably more now. Nobody's checked on me since. I need to know when my partner can come in. And they were just like, when you're in active labour, when you're on the delivery suite. So I was like, I'm in active labour, I just need a room, basically. And then at this time, there was a woman opposite me in the bed, and she was practically pushing, like, she was like, ooh, ooh, making all these noises. She was ready to give birth, and they were like, oh, we haven't got a delivery room available. She was like, I need my husband, like, I need to know when my husband can come in. And they were like, well, we have no beds, like, we have nothing, you're gonna have to deal with it. To the point where she was like, I am ready to push. And they ran over and they literally unplugged everything out of the walls and wheeled her straight into the lift in the bed, because she was crowning, like, the baby was ready to come. She ended up giving birth. This is how awful, this is another thing. I'm obviously experiencing this, I'm seeing this. It's really awful for her, but it's awful for me, because I'm seeing this and thinking, oh my God, this is what's going to happen to me. So she gave birth in the corridor, they literally had to ring her husband, who was downstairs waiting. So they phoned him. He come up really quickly, and she gave birth in the corridor. She didn't even make it to the delivery suite or the delivery bed, nothing. She gave birth in the corridor, from the lift, in the corridor. Baby there. And I was like, I was just sat bouncing on my ball, like, this world is testing me, like I'm strong, but whew, because obviously it's my first baby. I didn't know what to expect. It's all brand new. This is brand new to the midwives as well, not having like partners or birthing partners, anyone there, family, being able to pop in, like nothing. Like I could phone and text my family and my partner, but honestly it was just the most like challenging thing, mentally as well as physically, I think. So yeah, that happened. By that time then, I was the 6th of November. I think when she texted me again, she checked me again, I was just coming up to 5 centimetres, and the lady came in and was like, you have a bed ready. So I was like, gone. I was packed, ready, done, in, rung him, get in. So we got in straight away, and the midwife was really lovely. She was so nice. I had 3 different midwives throughout the time that I was on the delivery ward, delivery suite, whatever you want to call it, because obviously my birth went on for a long time. So all in all, I was in labour for 36 hours. I got to 5 centimetres, and then they said we need to speed things up, so we need to put a hormone drip in. So obviously I'd had the stretch and sweeps, the hormone gel inside me, and then they said we need to put the hormone drip in. So they put the hormone drip in, and she said, look, it's going to make your contractions 20 times stronger. And by this time I was like I had gas in air, so I had nothing up until 4 centimetres. Then I had gas in air, got to 5 centimetres, and then she was like, you might need an epidural. So I was like, please give it to me. Like, just give me all the drugs at this point.
Want some drugs?
Yes.
So I had my epidural. That was the most out of body experience of my life. Obviously I was high as a kite on gas and air. Like I kept asking the midwife things. My partner says now, you were nuts. Like you kept turning to her and being like, are you okay? I can't remember her name now. It went up the top of my head, but I'd be like, are you okay, Becky? Are you okay? Like I'm the one in labour and I'm asking her if she's okay. Am I okay? Mentally, am I okay? Yeah, and I kept saying to her, is this what acid feels like? Or something like that. Yeah, terrible, whatever. So that happened, and I don't know whether anyone knows. Obviously people know that I've had epidurals or given birth, they know what an epidural is. So I had to, in pain, 5 centimetres dilated, I'll spit it out in a minute, sit on the end of the bed, have a needle inserted into my back that was this big. Felt like it was this big. It was big, but whatever. Which numbs you from kind of where your bump starts all the way down, so you don't feel anything. The weirdest thing of my life. You have a drip then inserted into your back, which comes around, and then you have this connected thing. I don't even know the medical terms for all, but it was like a tube connected from my spine all the way to here. It was like a drip, and she would insert like a needle in or whatever, just to keep topping it up as I was going along. So it was going along.
La la long, la 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 long, come on!
I was still 5 centimetres, 6 centimetres, 7 centimetres. It was kind of dragging out. I was on gas in there. It was the weirdest feeling of my life. Being numb from like here down, strange, a whole different experience. I was in and out of sleep, so I was in and out of consciousness as well, and then I woke up the one time and I was in so much pain that I was like, I'm gonna be sick. I knew I was gonna be sick. I hadn't eaten anything since I'd gone in on the 5th of November, so now it's coming up, so say it's like 10 p.m. on the 6th, going into the 7th now, so I hadn't eaten anything in like over 24 hours. I was in so much pain. I threw up. I don't even know how much I threw up. It was ridiculous. It was in my hair, it was on my clothes, it was down me, it was in 3 different sick buckets. It was like something out of The Exorcist. I was like that girl with the head spin around, nuts. So yeah, that happened, and then I got to midnight, and the midwife said, that's a mouthful, midnight midwife. She said, we should be getting to 10 centimeters soon, so you will have to get ready to push. So I was like, right, okay, let's do this. And we tried like different ways, different positions. The way that I found easiest, my legs were on the stirrups. So obviously where the bed is, they have like these two things that fold on the side. So I had one leg here, and she would tell me when to push, because obviously you can't feel them. You can feel the contraction, but not as strong as if you weren't on gas and air or numb from the like waist down basically. And she was telling me when to push, and obviously I was pushing, and I think within the hour he came out. So it took an hour to actually deliver him, but it took 36 hours to get to that point anyway. And I knew it was going to be difficult, because they say when you're induced, labour is longer, and obviously he was, for all intents and purposes, he was premature, because he was supposed to be born on the 18th of November, it was the 7th, so he was like 11 days premature. Obviously he wasn't, he was a big baby. I did have to have a episiotomy, Google it if you're brave enough, and that was strange. So she cut me. I thought, because people say when you give birth you get cut this way, so like vagina's here, bumhole here, this way. Nah, you get cut that way, so you get cut sideways. She literally, my partner said, he actually watched it, like he was brave enough to watch it. He got the scissors, she got the scissors, sorry, not he. Oh my god, imagine he got the scissors and started chopping up down there, for my life. She cut this way as the baby was coming out, because his head was so big that I couldn't push him through, so she cut me that way. And then it took 45 minutes to stitch me up. So obviously baby came out, amazing, most surreal thing of my life. Obviously some people say you have this like rush of love, and you do. It was amazing. It was kind of like, oh my god, I'm high as a kite, there's this baby on me. And he looked, I don't even know, he looked kind of like half of me and half of my partner, so it was amazing. It was so surreal to see. He had dark hair and blue eyes, and he's amazing. I absolutely love the bones of him. He's just the best thing ever. They went and weighed him, obviously checked him over, everything was fine. So born he was £8.11. I had to think then, because I was born £8.12 and my partner was £10.2 I think, or £10.3 born, so we knew we were gonna have a big baby. But yeah, £8.11, and obviously they got him completely checked over, everything was fine with me. She then had to stitch me up, which like I said took 45 minutes. Was the weirdest experience of my life, because she was like, I can see her, she's there, she's down there, just doing this, like stitching me back up. It was just so strange. And then I stood up afterwards, so obviously it took like an hour or two after that procedure to fully feel slightly normal, and obviously my legs coming back to life because obviously the epidural. So I got up to have a shower, and it was just like blood, just literally, it was crazy. It was everywhere really, and I had sick everywhere, so I was literally covered in like sick. Totally forgot to mention, when he came out, she put him on my chest and he pooed all over me. So I literally had sick, his poo, blood, just everything. The most graphic things you can think of was on me. Like, it was just nuts. So I had a shower, washed my hair, and I just stunk of like sick, and just, it was crazy. He was allowed to stay for about 4 hours after, so I gave birth at 1:09 on the 7th of November 2020, and my partner got to stay for about 4 hours, maybe 5, I think it was 4 hours, because obviously it was early hours in the morning anyway, and I'm guessing the delivery suite wasn't, like the bed wasn't massively needed, because they were quite relaxed. Like, they went and got me tea and toast, and I remember eating like 8 slices of toast, like I was an absolute animal. drunk like 2 teas. I just downed everything. I was like, gan it. So yeah, and then they moved me then to the ward where all the babies were born. So I was on a ward with 3 other women, and all 3 of them had girls, and they all cried all night, and my little boy was like silent as a mouse and slept all night. So it was mad. We came down from the delivery suite in the lift. I obviously had to say goodbye then to my partner, take the baby in and go in, and they kept coming in, the nurses, to check on my blood pressure and stuff, because obviously I had a few complications during. So I had my bloods taken again. I had my blood pressure taken constantly, like every hour or every 2 hours. It was mad. I had to do a urine sample. Baby had to have a hearing test, full check over to see everything was fine and marked down, like if he had any marks or anything. So obviously he was born through an episiotomy, so they cut me to get his head out, so they had to quite literally just drag him out. So he had a bruise from like here all the way down here, and it was like bluey purple. So obviously that was all marked down. They said it was good, he was absolutely fine, he was perfectly fine and healthy. I think that was it. I think they did all the checks, and then constantly I was like, when can I go home? Like I was like ready to go home. As much pain as I was in, I didn't sleep at all. I got on the ward at 5 o'clock in the morning. Obviously everyone else's babies are waking up, mine's just been born, so mine's sleeping. Like mine doesn't want to be awake. At that time as well I was learning to breastfeed, so like people coming in to like help me latch and things like that. Even to this day now, I'll do a whole separate video on breastfeeding, because that's just a madness. Like I didn't expect it to be the way it is, but he will only breastfeed two ways now, and only now the one way is like new. So in like a rugby ball position, so like imagine you're doing this, so his head's here and he's feeding here, so I have to hold him here or like balance him on a pillow or something. So it's really difficult if I'm doing it out in public to like, not, I don't care if I'm doing it out in public, it's balancing him or like holding him. And obviously now he's like 13-14 pounds, so he's a big baby, and he's 2 months on Thursday. So yeah, he's a big boy. And the second way is now he sits upright, so he has reflux. I'll do that all in the breastfeeding video, but I have to sit him upright, and he feeds sideways, like side on, so that he's upright, because we have to keep him upright for about 20 to 30 minutes after I feed him. So yeah, I went home on, I think it was the 7th, but it was the night time, so it was the 7th of November. It was about 7 or 8 p.m, so it was quite late, but we were just grateful to be coming home. I had all my checks, he had all his checks, he was absolutely fine, I was absolutely fine. Giving birth, I had lost a little bit more blood than I should have, so I think the recommended amount, or like they say, is 500 ml, and I lost 884, something like that. It was close to 900, so I had to keep being checked for that. The day after you give birth, a midwife comes out to check on you, check on baby, make sure everything's fine, make sure feeding's going okay. Obviously check on my scar as well, because obviously I had an episiotomy, so my stitches were trying to heal. But yeah, so that is my birthing pregnancy story time. I hope you enjoyed. I hope I included everything. I probably missed out loads, but I feel like this video is going to be ridiculously long, and I've got to try and edit this as well. Yeah, and I'm hoping baby boy is still asleep because he's downstairs with his dad. So yes, thank you so much for watching. I can't even speak now. I've talked so much I can't even speak. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you in my next video.